We can't judge them according to the principles that bind us in our Sharia. Alright? And pork for them is like lamb for us. It's like mutton or something for us. Okay? Why? Because the same rules do not govern. And therefore, they will be left to the principles of their Sharia. And Islam was celebrated for this. Islam was celebrated for this. That it allowed people who lived in an Islamic state to live according to their principles, according to their religion, according to their Sharia, according to whatever laws that governed them and governed their deen. And Umar radiallahu anhu in his Khilafah had established a decree where he had asked for tax to be collected in a particular way on the wine stock of non-Muslims, which meant that for them Umar radiallahu anhu acknowledged that it was something that was of value to them, and for that reason tax should be collected in a particular way. He wouldn't ask for wine to be given in tax, but for a tax to be placed on the value of it. Right? Now, this sometimes, the thing is that Muslims sometimes get frustrated about things like this. Right? It's like, oh, you know, it's the Sharia, it should be implemented fully, and so on and so forth. This type of frustration isn't new. It was expressed in the early times as well. In the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz radiallahu anhu, some Muslims complained about the fact that the Sharia wasn't being fully implemented on non-Muslims. Alright? And they were getting away with things that are prohibited in society and that Muslims didn't want to see in society. And therefore, you know, this was a problem. Umar ibn Abdul Aziz radiallahu anhu thought about this, and he thought, you know, maybe there's a point here. You know, these people are living among us, right? You know, maybe our society, there's a possibility that our society, Muslim society, will get corrupted by the fact that there are people who are drinking alcohol, you know, in our society, right? In a Muslim society. So he wrote to Hassan Basri, rahimahullah, the famous tabi'i, and asked him a fatwa on this. And he said, you know, what's this? The Khulafa Rashidun and the leaders of the Muslims have left the Ahlul Dhimma, the non-Muslims living within Muslim lands, to kind of carry on according to their rules and according to their laws and, you know, their ways of marriage and, you know, their drinking of alcohol and consuming swine and pork and so on and so forth. Whereas these things are of course alien to Islam and impermissible. Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah replied in this manner. He said, they have paid their taxes. إِنَّمَا بَذَلُوا الْجِزْيَةِ لِيُتْرَكُوا وَمَا يَعْتَقِدُونَ, so that they can be left to themselves and what they believe in. And of course, it now becomes the duty of the Muslim state to protect that. So therefore, the Muslim state will protect the right of the non-Muslim to drink alcohol. Okay? And he said, he gave a bit of nasiha directly to Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. Remember that he is the Khalifa, right? So he gave a bit of direct nasiha to him. And he said, you know, you're expected to follow what the Sharia has to say and not to innovate. Alright, so don't try to change this, basically, is what he said. Now, this is in the Muslim lands, in the time of the Khulafa, right? And we saw that video where? That was Tower Hamlets. Those were the streets of Tower Hamlets in England. Enough said, right? It's just, you know, it's some kind of problem. I don't know. I don't know if it's a psychological problem or what. That people think that just because you know, I've now become practicing and so on and so forth, I've got to go around and behave like a complete bigot. What people forget is that how I behave, just believing in La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah and praying and implementing Sharia in myself, doesn't give me the right to go and behave how I like outside of myself. How I behave on the streets with other people is also governed by Sharia.